You can learn so much about property maintenance and designing things not to break by going to visit a local hotel, and today I have come to the Travelodge on the quayside to have a little bit of a look round as to how they're doing things in 2025. So let's take a look at what this room looks like. I've never been to this one before, so let's take a look at our room. We are in 408. And you know what? Not bad. And yeah, wow, we've scored for a view, which is really impressive. This is costing me, what, 50 or 60 quid for the night? And we've got the view over the River Tyne, which is absolutely glorious. Tide's coming in at the minute by the looks of it. We've got the new inside hotel next door. This video isn't sponsored, by the way. No one even knows I'm making this video, but it's really kind of useful to get an insight as to how they do things in hotels, because as I say, you can learn so much from it. And look at this, not taking any chances. Oak threshold as well, that's solid oak there by the looks of it. Solid oak architraves, solid oak protector strips to protect the wall against suitcase scuffs. Solid oak skirting boards as well. All really neatly siliconed in as well, which is really nice. Solid oak door liner and door stops. I don't think the door itself is solid oak, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So let's fix a couple of things first of all. Personally, I wouldn't put this chair here. You've got a great big gap in the corner there next to the window. Let's move that for a start. And I noticed straight away these curtains are buggered, so let's just quickly fix that. Let's just come off the end there. That's better. Cool. What about the other side? We're all right. It's just that end hook's come off. I'll quickly fix that. It's a 2-minute fix. There we go. Nothing there. That's all right. Cool. Can actually open and close the curtains now, which gives the room a totally different kind of feel. Anyway, that's your kind of nighttime view of the room. So yeah, it's kind of nice. One really simple fix I can make here, by the way, is that there's a great big gap on the right-hand side there, and it lets loads of light in. So they've gone to the trouble of putting really expensive blackout curtains in, but all the light comes in down that right-hand side. And all they need to do, we've got a massive overhang on the curtain rail on the top left just there. So all they need to do is shuffle the rail along that way a bit, and then the curtain would completely overlap that edge all the way to the wall. So that would be a nice, easy fix, but yeah, I haven't got my tools with us, so I can't do that one, unfortunately. Open these up again. So, let me show you some of the interesting things. We've got a nice, big, comfy double bed, but try and ignore all of the soft furnishings, because, you know, they're easily replaceable. The things that I want to show you about is more kind of fixtures, fittings, and what they've done to minimise long-term maintenance. So first of all, over by the bed, we've got controls for the lights, we've got reading lights, we've got kind of a feature light just above the bed there to give a bit of mood lighting. We've got USB sockets, USB-A and USB-C. What are we looking at? 4 amp, which is reasonable. You might get fast charging off that. I haven't tested that yet. We've got a little kind of bedside nook here to put a glass of water and things, which is kind of nice. But obviously the nice thing about how they've done this is that there's very little to go wrong with this. You know, if you replace the bed, you don't have to think about replacing the headboard, which is kind of useful. And then coming over the other side of the room, in terms of fixed furniture, we've got this desk here, very similar to the last time we looked at a Travelodge. We've just got a great big kind of upright support here. Seems to be just melamine, and we've got a wooden brace across the back there. Just made of MDF. Wooden brace at the side here as well, which is probably a little bit overkill in all honesty, but I suppose it gives a point where they can screw through into this. I think that's the only reason they've done that. Same over on that side. Oh, how long ago was this renovated? I forgot to take the masking tape off. That's quite amusing. All right, Travelodge, I'll just kind of sort your room out there. It would have been nice if they'd used frog tape. That's like the stickiest masking tape known to mankind, that. Oh my god, that is so sticky, but it goes to show even the professional decorators aren't always using frog tape. I'm going to have to wash my hands now. Anyway, kettle and tea and coffee making, which is absolutely essential in any hotel. We stayed in a hotel recently and it had no kettle in it, and it was a major pain in the backside. It's always nice being able to make your own cup of coffee in the morning if you want. Again, USB-C and USB-A on the sockets as standard, but perfectly functional, nice little writing desk there. We've got a very small Samsung TV, and it would have been nice if they'd tidied the cable up again. Should we just tidy that up for them a little bit? That's better than it was, isn't it? Anyway, that just, it's very small. What is it? It's not even a 42-inch, that. I'm not sure what size that is. It seems small for the size of the room, but again, budget hotel. Who really cares? Coming round from that, we've got the mirror, obligatory mirror attached to a piece of either MDF or chipboard, not sure what that is, but either way it's melamine of some description, foil backed, and a socket at the bottom to plug your hairdryer in, and then the culmination of our hopes and dreams of a wardrobe are the usual Travelodge kind of wardrobe arrangement. You know what it is, it does the job. We've got some spare bedding at the top there. We've got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hangers. That can't be stolen. Well, you can steal them, but you can't do very much with them. And yeah, again, foil-faced or melamine-faced chipboard, and that is just attached to the wall. Again, nothing to go wrong. No cupboard doors to worry about, no wardrobe to replace. Very worst case scenario, if this gets damaged, you basically unscrew it from the wall and fit a new one. We have got really nice aircon, a standard Samsung system. It's happily working away there and keeping the room at a comfortable temperature. I presume it's climate control as opposed to just aircon. Yes, it is full climate control because we can press the mode button and we're on auto at the minute. We can go to cool, and we have got heat as well. So according to this, we can go between 18 and 25 degrees. Let's see, well, it goes way higher than that. The last thing we need in here at the minute is more heat. That is the unit up there for anyone who knows about these things. I'm not an expert on aircon. And for those really hot, stuffy nights, we've got an extra fan under the desk there. I don't really see the point in the fan if we've got full climate control, but that's probably a bit of a legacy hangover from days when hotel rooms in the UK often didn't have aircon. You would just have a fan and you would just kind of hope for the best. So other than that, we've got very, very simple architraves. Again, they would appear to be solid wood, painted white. And we did talk about the door as well very briefly earlier. And we've got single hinge at the bottom, double hinge at the top there. It would appear to be, it's very thick, but it's kind of a foil-faced, I would imagine it's a foil-faced chipboard fire door of some description. There is a little bit more information about it, if you can see, but it does say oak. I'm assuming that just means it's an oak finish. It's not solid oak. This looks more like tulip wood on the top to me, but it doesn't tell you exactly what sort of wood that is. But it's an FD30, so a 30-minute fire door, 1981 by 44mm 864 size, I think it is. Nice, solid, obviously with a self-closer on it as well. Down lights as standard, smoke alarm in the middle there, or smoke and heat, I'm not sure. And we've only got one bulb out. I haven't brought any bulbs with us, so I can't fix that, I'm afraid. But other than that, I suppose that's fine. Let's take a quick look at the bathroom. So bathrooms are always my favourite part of Travelodges, to try and see what the latest and greatest tech that they've brought in. Remember, this is a budget hotel, so we're not expecting anything too fancy. But yeah, first impressions, really nice. And of course, as per last time, it is a pod bathroom again. So this is basically put together in a factory somewhere, and the entire bathroom is just dropped in one single unit. How do you know that? Because look, the whole thing's basically one big plastic thing that goes all the way around. There are joins, but there's no join here. So yeah, there's very little to go wrong. The autofocus is going to be going crazy on the camera because my camera and white walls just does not mix. But you will just have to trust me, there are no joins. Well, there's a join above the door there, to be fair. And yeah, no joins around there, no joins around there. So yes, take my word for it, it is a pod bathroom. Now, pod bathrooms aren't necessarily practical for residential use. They do get used from time to time, but you do need to be able to effectively kind of crane them into place. We've got great big windows on this hotel room, so they could easily be craned in through that. But yeah, it's not easy replacing a pod bathroom once they're in, but the advantage is it makes fitting the hotel out really, really quick because you just drop it in and plug it into the waste, plug it into your hot and cold water supplies, and you're pretty much away you go. Power and all that sort of thing. Again, probably just a single connection for the whole bathroom. So let's kind of work around from the left here. We've got the toilet, not a soft close seat, which I'm surprised about because a lot of damage happens to toilet seats because they're not soft close, when people just accidentally kind of drop them and they end up breaking the fittings and things at the back there. So maybe that's a replacement seat, I'm not sure. I'm surprised on a newish hotel like this that it's not soft close. Push button flush. Yep, that's fine. We've got a toilet roll holder that's half kind of, that's not great, just needs tightened up, not a major problem. And then obviously we've got this kind of area here, which I'll show you underneath that in a minute. We've then got the basin, flippy floppy waste. Again, we've talked about basin wastes a lot on this channel. The flippy floppy ones get used a lot in hotels. They're obviously very, very low maintenance, not a lot to go wrong on them. So yeah, very typical for a Travelodge. We have got grower fittings, as per usual. Expensive, but they last and they're easy to maintain. I generally always fit grower unless I can't get hold of it for some reason. Anyway, so coming round, we've got some hand wash on the wall, and we've got a shaver socket as well. And then heading round to the shower itself, again, this is all part of the pod. You know, this tray can't be replaced. It's all GRP, I presume, some sort of fiberglass material. And we've got kind of a Perspex protective screen at the back here as well that the bar shower, the mixer, is actually attached to. Some interesting things about that I'll show you in a minute as well. But yeah, very little to go wrong here. You've got no kind of glass shower screens that need to be siliconed in or anything like that. We have just got a shower curtain, and it's quite a nice shower curtain, to be honest. Does the job. Again, because we're in a kind of wet room kind of design of room, it doesn't really matter if water gets over here. Although there is no drain on this side of the room, so in kind of non-UK hotels in this design of bathroom, it would be very common to have a drain somewhere in the middle here. You don't have that, but it is fairly well sealed, I guess. I mean, you've got a little bit of a kind of water guard here to stop water going out and into the main hotel room itself and onto the carpet. So the water would have to get quite deep before that becomes a problem. But yeah, really, really simple. Shower curtain. How do you design for low maintenance? I'm afraid shower curtain is still the easiest answer. If you're wanting something kind of cheap and cheerful that's not going to break, and very easy to fix if it does break, then yeah, that kind of does the job. Anyway, so the shower, once again, grower, bar mixer, really decent quality shower mixer that. And interestingly, look at this, we've got the bar, an external mounting bracket at the back here. That makes replacing the mixer bar way easier. So you don't have to worry about like sealing into the pipes that come out the wall or anything like that, because as long as this is sealed onto this Perspex kind of back panel, there is no way for water to get behind this. So that's really quite, yeah, it's not as pretty, but functionally that's a good way of doing things. I mean, it desperately needs some limescale remover on it. I haven't brought any vinegar with us, so I can't fix that. But yeah, grower shower head, grower riser, grower bar mixer, little handle to help you get in and out the shower. What sort of waste have we got? Is it an easy to clean waste? Yes, it looks like you can just basically lift that out. Yeah, So I'm not going to pull that out, it'll put you off your dinner, but it's basically, you just pull that white bit there and that whole inner bit of the waste will come out to clean it. So that's nice and easy. Again though, if the waste itself breaks, that's not going to be an easy thing to fix. I have no idea how you would get to the underside of that to replace the entire waste. Yeah, answers on a postcard, ladies and gents. I mean, maybe, well, in fact, yeah, definitely you'll get access to this behind this from a service panel on the outside. Indeed, there is a service panel. I haven't got a key to get in that. But interestingly, you can't get down to ground level. So how you would get underneath that shower tray is anyone's guess. So yeah, if you do know how you would replace that waste, let me know. Answers on a postcard. That's not going to be easy. Oh, I did promise that I would quickly show you in this. Have a quick look. Normally these are just held on with Velcro. So yeah, there's not a huge amount to show you. Again, you can kind of see the GRP. It's all GRP. We've got a pneumatic push button waste for the toilet. And we've got the waste coming around there from the basin. Hot and cold supplies. All push fit. Everything's push fit. And it all just goes through into that section of the pod. You can't really see much more than that. So yeah, that's as much as I can show you. Not that exciting. Again, working our way around, we've got a little towel rail at the back of the door. Door itself, very small door, little hook on the back, very lightweight, don't think that's a fire door. And 3 quite beefy hinges, ball bearing hinges, so they should last pretty well. Flooring wise, it looks like some sort of industrial lino type thing. Again, that's all manufactured as part of the pod. Door stop, to stop the door going through the wall and causing damage. And yeah, that is the bathroom in a nutshell. Interestingly, we've got this lovely kind of courtyard out the front of the hotel facing onto the river, but it's not been maintained at all. You can see there's just weeds growing all the way through it. Nothing's really planted in the flower beds, so a bit of a missed opportunity there. And interestingly, the gate that allows you to get down to the quayside is shut. Why haven't they just left that open? So here's 5 simple takeaways from this one that we can potentially bring into our own projects. Consider positioning sockets near mirrors so that hairdryers and straighteners can easily be plugged in. Not a problem I have to worry about. If you don't have room for a full-size wardrobe, think about having an open hanging rail similar to this one. If you're on a bit of a budget, don't rule out shower curtains. They're cheap, they're easy to fit, and there's not a lot to go wrong with them. Instead, use the money that you've saved and invest in good quality taps and showers. They last longer, and if they break, it's normally much easier to find spares for them. This isn't sponsored, but grower and hands grower seem to be most commonly used in hotels. And finally, in high traffic areas, materials such as stone and stainless steel can be great, but sometimes you just can't beat solid wood. So folks, I hope you can pick up a few tips for your own properties for designing for low maintenance. I'm not expecting everyone to install pod bathrooms, but there's certainly a few things that you can do the way that they've done them in here. The room itself, there's loads of ideas that you can pick up for your own properties. As I say, do remember this is a budget hotel, and next time I'm going to be taking you to look at a really high-end hotel that I'm really excited to go and have a look at. So do hit subscribe and you can get to see how things are done kind of at the other end of the scale. We're going to stay in Newcastle, but yeah, it's a really nice one that we're going to take a look at. So I look forward to seeing you on that one. For now, folks, as per usual, look after one another, be nice to each other. We shall see you next time. Tatty bye.